Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Open Studio. As always, I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambua. And yes, as always, we've got an amazing show for you today because joining me in studio is my man, my brother from another mother. He's back today to speak to us a little bit more about himself. And we've got something interesting. He's now called the community champion. Okay, something that he said you must all get used to, but you'll get to know more about that as we go on in the within the show. So, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks, Danny. It's good to be here again.
Likewise, man. I'm happy. I'm happy that you're back. Since the last time that you were here, we had a good time. And as always, when you are here, we have lots of laugh and lots of good time. So for those that's watching you for the first time, that do not know anything about you, like we know about you, can you just give us a little bit more about yourself, a bit of a background?
All right. So my name is Delphino.
Yeah.
Delphino Machikicho, and I was born in a place called Mpamawonde in Bikita, in Mashingo, in Zimbabwe.
That's a lot.
Right. So many people don't know that place, but I think it's important that it's outlined. And I was born in Zimbabwe, like I said. Both my parents, my mom was actually in first year when I was born, and my dad was a rural school teacher, so he had what is called rural swag. So he swept my mom off her feet, and then I'm the evidence of his swag. So that came about, and then we grew up, average family. We had enough, but we had a lot of love. And one thing that I learned was to always support people and to always give back. That's one thing that I got from my grandfather, who was Delphino Machikicho the first.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much me, and that's what I've been living out to make sure that I give love, to support, and give hope where it is lost.
Wow. So you say you are from the country of Zimbabwe.
Yes.
So when you finish the sentence for me, I am a Zimbabwe, I'm a proud Zimbabwean because
Zimbabwe is the best place to be, man.
Yeah.
Have you met a Zimbabwean before?
I've got plenty of Zimbabwean friends. I've made a couple more friends today, which is exciting. Zimbabweans are very nice people, I must say. Yeah.
You see, so the Zimbabwean spirit, if you know what Zimbabwe means, it means the house of stone. Zimbabweans are unbreakable. Through all the challenges that we've been through, we're still standing. If you want to see the world over, Zimbabweans work extremely hard, and some of the most loving people are from Zimbabwe. So even though we're going through the tough time that we're going through in our country, we have hope that things are going to be okay, and we'll get back to that place of being the breadbasket of Africa again.
Wow, you need to have hope. And you mentioned that Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. People from Zimbabwe are loving people, kind people, and there are challenges that are being faced currently in Zimbabwe. But just to know from you personally, what led you to South Africa and when did you come here?
Right, so I came to South Africa after 2009, and I just finished my high school, and my whole family moved to Cape Town because things were not really moving well in Zimbabwe, so we needed to find better opportunities, and I was also supposed to come and study. So I then came to South Africa, studied at UWC, Bush, as commonly known. So that's what led me to come to South Africa. Better opportunity, trying to improve my life and also the life of my family, to see if we can find something that we can grow and then maybe take back home after a while.
Yeah, so what was your first impression coming into this new land, new country we've never been before? What was your first impression like?
So first of all, my girlfriend, or actually my fiance, my traditional wife, won't like hearing this, but the women were extremely beautiful. And generally, I think South Africa is a beautiful place to be, man. Media paints the crime, the violence, but if you get to meet the people, which is where I spend most of my time, in the township with the people, some of the most beautiful stories come from the people of South Africa. So for me, it was a mind shift to see the real people versus what the media paints it to be.
Yeah, and that can be a dangerous thing, Media can be there to help or uplift, but can also break down.
Definitely.
Based on what you are being fed constantly. There's always somebody, different opinion being put into people's brains, people being brainwashed, and you look at a country and think, wow, this is what is happening. But in actual fact, that it's not.
There are good things happening.
It's not, yeah. So you mentioned that the beautiful woman in South Africa, and that's one of the pull factors that brought you here. But
don't misquote me. Gonna get me into trouble with the wife.
I hope she's not watching though.
Well, we'll see. Get into trouble when I get home.
So,
yeah.
you know, there's been some challenges and things that has taken place within South Africa, you know, with all this xenophobia and pushing away of foreign nationals. Have you experienced anything like that? Have you had any hard times during your time in South Africa? What were your good and bad times here? Have to put it like that.
I mean, being someone who's not from the native country, the struggle is obviously the language. And the expectation is if you're black, you should speak a native language.
Yeah.
And the expectation from my side is people should be able to communicate. So that line of communication had always been a struggle.
Yeah.
And being in the township areas where people don't really understand there is anger on the ground because of poverty, because of the society, sometimes it's misdirected. But I understand because I am there speaking to the people and understanding where is that coming from.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that international people face. But it's about speaking from a human to human, because after all, we're all human beings.
Yeah. So on that topic, you know, we are now in April. It's Freedom Month. Month. What does freedom mean to you, or Freedom Day, or Freedom Month? What does that word freedom means to you?
I think freedom for me is to be the best version of yourself. Being an individual, the best version that you can be. Being a country, the best version of the country that you can be. As a people, the best version of a people that we can be, without being limited, without being given external force or external push by any other person or any other condition. Yeah.
And as a country, as a nation, which freedom, or which what do you think we should practice as a nation? Which freedom do you think we should practice as a nation?
Right. So for me, it is breaking the shackles of the minds. Because previously, because of colonization, we were told what to be, where to be, what to dress, and what to do. But now we have freedom. But the freedom of the mind is what is important, to know that we can't be forced to act in a specific way. And we can't be forced to behave in a certain way. That we can be, Africa is not just a dark continent. And South Africa is not just the crime that we see, but we can get the best out of the country, especially from the youth.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That is very deep, you know, and for those that's watching at home, this is one of the topics that is very sensitive to us, you know, when we touch on things like this. So we're just going to take a short break for those that's watching at home. I urge you please to not go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to continue with our conversation with Delphino, so don't go anywhere. All right, guys, welcome to what if you just tuned in, you're not too late. You're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kamba, and joining me in studio is a community champion, Mr. Delphino, who's here to speak to us a little bit more about himself and also his organization, which we'll hear about later on in the show. So for those that just tuned in, a big welcome to you, and another big welcome to you, sir. Just to continue our conversation, we spoke about your background, your history, where you're from. You said you're from Zimbabwe, and we had to chat a little bit about that. We spoke about the April month being the Freedom Month. Okay, we got to speak on that also. So if you missed it at home, unfortunately you missed it, but you still have time to catch on with the conversation. So next month is the National Freedom Month. Freedom Month. So something that has been happening, you know, within the country recently. You know, it's now elections coming up and stuff like that, and then there's been another spate of xenophobia, so which is very sensitive, and it's very, you know, it's hard sore to see. What do you think should be done to help stop this act of violence?
Yeah, so that's quite a very difficult issue, because it's a structural problem.
Yeah,
people are frustrated, and understandably so, because life is difficult. Poverty is on the rise, unemployment is on the rise. People are struggling to just get food on the table. And sometimes it's very difficult to channel our anger. And I think that the foreign nationals are the easy scapegoat. And it's easy for them to be attacked because it looks like they've come to take the opportunities. But I think people need to be conscientized and know that we are Africans and we are one people. And if anything, there is more that unites us than what divides us. If anything, we should be able to say, let's hold hands, share ideas, and see how do we uplift ourselves. Before we look to point a finger, how about we look internally and say, why am I where I am? Why is it that I'm not progressing financially in my life? How can a brother of mine help me? And we hold each other's hands. Because I know a lot of the Somalian spaza shops that are employing South Africans. I know a lot of Nigerians that are employing South Africans. And I'm from Zimbabwe, and I've been working across the whole country in empowering the South African youth. So I think it's about conscientizing each other that we are one continent. There is more that unites us, and we need to stand together. The enemy is not each other. The enemy is the poverty. The enemy is the unemployment. And if we join our hands, join our ideas, then we can fight the enemy better.
Wow, that's, I beg your pardon, that's deep. That's deep. And, you know, for those that's watching at home, I'm sure we can take something from this, you know. And many of times that is the main problem. The main problem is because these foreign nationals, as you say, are coming here, they're taking our jobs. The next one I heard, they're taking our women.
Yeah, well,
I think
I heard that.
you're the problem.
Well, the good part about that is my wife is a few kilometers away from my rural home. She's very Zimbabwean, and she's extra beautiful. She's my pepe soup. That's why we call her in Nigeria.
You just had to add that so she don't get you when you get home.
Yeah, she was more beautiful than the South African women that I saw.
So, speaking on this, hearing you speak now, this what is coming from, I can hear it's coming from the heart. And you spent many of time trying to inspire people, you know, mainly the young people, mainly the youth. So you spent lots of time creating projects, you know, just to inspire and help and uplift. So can you tell us a little bit more about the projects that you've run so far?
Well, first of all, there is Waumbe Youth Development, a youth center that we started in 2014. And we have helped over 9,000 youth in Fisantekraal. We have helped improve the matric pass rate in one of the high schools we're working in from 44% to 79.5%. We have helped over 80 youth to get into tertiary education. Over 50 youth are now employed just from Fisantekraal. We have started a learnership in partnership with Investec that is working with 45 youth that are going to get a job by the end of this year.
Wow.
And there's a lot that we're doing in terms of changing the environment, changing the mindset to see that we are not cursed, but we've got the power as the African child. You've got the opportunity, you've got the capacity to be the best version of you. And you can achieve greatness. Even if your mother didn't, even if your father or your grandfather, you could be the first person to dab and say, Mama, I made it.
There we go. And that is what we want. You know, that is the goal that as each parent has for the child, and that is a goal that we as a community, as a nation should have for those that's coming up, because they are the future, you know. And hearing you speak, something interesting happened with you, where you were nominated as Zimbabwe's Achievers Award.
Achievers Award.
Zimbabwe Achievers Award. Tell us about that. How was that feeling when you saw your name on that list?
I think it was a big mistake. I don't know where they found me. Well, it's so in the work that we do, I call it being in the trenches most of the time. It's great to always get acknowledgement and people reinforcing that the work that you're doing is good. Because sometimes we're always fighting the system, fighting the mindset and fighting the norms. And it gets exhausting. Sometimes I get to sleep 3 hours in a week because you've got a full-time job, you've got Waumbe, you've got to go and speak and do gigs. And sometimes that exhaustion, you need something that shows you're on the right direction, that the hard work that you're putting in is actually counting for something. So it was quite a humbling accolade that I got, and I'm really grateful for people that nominated me and also voted for me to be the community champion.
So seeing that you're being called the community champion, that means you won.
Well, yes. Well, the answer is yes.
How was that feeling? How was that feeling?
I promised I didn't do somersaults or scream, but I was really excited.
Yeah.
I was glad because I was going against about four guys that are doing some amazing work, and some of them I know personally, and they have even been mentoring me. I can mention Patrick Mashanda, who is actually my manager at work, and he's doing some amazing work in developing the youth and in education. So I was chuffed and humbled at the same time.
Wow. And there, guys, you can also be a champion in your own right. You can also be a champion within your community, whatever it is that you're doing and whatever it is that you put your mind through it, okay? So we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to continue with our conversation. For those that started from the beginning, I hope you're having as much fun as we are. Those that just tuned in, I hope you are also trying to understand what we are talking about and where this is going to. But stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We'll continue after the break. All right, guys, welcome back. We are continuing with our conversation now. It's almost the end of the show, but you're still in time to get in some information, to get to learn something in today's show. So joining me in studio today is Mr. Delphino, who's here to speak to us a little bit more about himself. And also, he is now known as the community champion, which is some great news, which we'll not stop talking about. So once again, welcome to the show. For those that just tune in, a big welcome to you as well. So, Mr. Delphino, just to continue our conversation, we spoke about your efforts in trying to assist within communities, and that it's been recognized by the community. You were nominated and you won. Okay, that's something big, something to celebrate. But then also there is an organization that you are working for.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that organization and the grant you received?
Right, so I'm working for Ikamva Youth as the district manager of the Western Cape.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the reasons I decided to go work for them is Ikamva is one of the biggest tutoring NPOs in the country, and they have presence in pretty much most of the country in assisting learners to get quality results in tutoring programs, after school mentorship. Our aim is to make sure that we produce quality results in education. So that's the aim of Ikamva Youth. And we recently received a grant from a company called To You, and we're pretty excited about it. And the partnership is based on, they want to assist in mentoring the youth that we're working with, because our focus area is schools in the townships that are under-resourced, underprivileged, and they probably not get the best all-round information. And what we're looking for is holistic development. And To You has come on board and said, you guys are doing amazing work. And we're actually working with them last year, and they said, we want to give you more funding to make sure that the work that you're doing reaches more of the youth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got the fundings and it's secured.
Man, securing the bag. We're really excited and really grateful to the partnership that we have with To You. So we got 100,000 grant just as a Western Cape, and we're going to be having the signing ceremonies happen on the 10th of April. So we're going to be signing a big check. And media, you're also welcome to do it. It's going to be big, it's going to be grand, and celebrating, because I think in the social space, you don't get a lot of organizations that, because business is tough, organizations that get extra funding to support social endeavors like To You has done.
Yeah, so for you guys to get such a big fund, it obviously means there is progress and you are bringing in results, visual, something that we can see. It's not just by word of mouth. It's actually, we can see that there is progress. So how important do you think it is that we invest into community initiatives?
It's extremely important. Because South Africa's challenges range from poverty, unemployment, and education is one of the focus areas that we focus as Ikamva Youth. And the most important thing is companies will not be able to move their core deliverables to come and assist in the communities, but we are there to provide that service. So how companies can assist in making sure that we improve the country is partnering with organizations like Ikamva Youth in supporting the endeavors that we're doing. Because we are skilled, we've got the experience, but also we've got the time to go into the communities and provide activities that have the desired impact at the end of the day.
Yeah, wow. Time, that's very important. You have to have time to
Definitely.
give out, because time that you can't take back, and to sacrifice that part of your life is big, and you guys are being rewarded for this, which is amazing. So,
definitely.
you know, just to just thinking, trying to think within the communities. You said you're working with schools within the township communities. So
Yes.
which townships have you guys been working with so far?
Yes, so we've got about 8 centers in the Western Cape. And we're in Khayelitsha, there's about 2 centers. We're in Gugulethu, we're in Nyanga, we're in Fishhook, we're in Atlantis. And those are some of the areas that we're working with. So we have 1 center, and the schools around bring their learners to, well, it's not that they bring the learners sign in and they become part of the organizations. And then they get 2 hours during the week and 3 hours on a Saturday of tutoring. And we work with students from university that come in and provide their time. They volunteer actually to tutor learners. They're from the township, they've made it into university, and they're coming back to give back into their communities that they grew up. And that is one thing that we really appreciate.
Wow.
Youth that are taking action and becoming active citizens.
Wow. So what do you know, maybe what is the funding going to be used for? Or which project is it going to be plugged into? You want to share that with us?
Well, definitely. This one is going to go specifically to a mentoring program. So this mentoring program is to you employees are going to be mentoring some of the learners in the township that we're working with. And it's on a weekly basis. They get tutoring time, no, not tutoring, mentorship time.
Yeah.
So they get a job shadowing opportunities. They can come to you offices, which is a very beautiful place, and they get to experience something they hadn't experienced before.
Yeah.
And also in supporting the branches and what they're doing in terms of the mentorship programs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So what does the future hold for Delphino? What does the future hold for you?
Well, the future is exciting.
Any more nominees coming up?
I don't know. Maybe you should nominate me. But one important thing is coming up is that the beautiful lady I was telling you about, the wedding is happening soon, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll have a ring on my finger. Yeah, that's exciting. But generally in terms of the professional space is reaching more communities, doing more work with more organizations, and Umbe Youth Development also making sure that we're growing. And outside Fisanta Kral, because we've been operating for 5 years, we're looking at our next steps, probably going into Malawi or into Zimbabwe, and also reaching other communities in South Africa as well. And there's a lot of speaking opportunities wherever I can go to empower youth or people. That's where I'll be.
So briefly, before we close up, can you tell us where can we get a hold of you, if we want to get a hold of you or the organization?
Yeah, come to my house. I'm joking. Don't come to my house. Yeah, so on my Facebook is Delphino Machikicho, or you can follow my organization, Delphino Machikicho Consultants, or on Twitter at Delphino Tawana. It's not difficult to find me.
Wow.
There's not a lot of people called Delphino.
And there you have it, guys. All social media platforms, if you're looking for him, Delphino, that is the name. You will find him on all social media platforms. So, guys, we've come to the end of an amazing show. Thank you so much, sir, for coming through today.
Thanks,
Thank
Danny.
you for accepting the invite. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. Thank you, guys, for being part of the show today. From me, myself, we're signing out now from the Cape Town TV crew. It's goodbye for now. Till next time. Bye-bye.